Good morning, everyone. Namaste. I'm going to call in Archangel Michael to clear, cleanse the space of all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with his blue seal. And we are going to be reading out of one of my favorite books. It's always small but mighty. It's my Clarity and Connection book. And I'm going to read a couple of these since they're so small. It says, the initial reaction is usually your past trying to impose itself upon your present. So if you don't heal, you develop, especially as children, you develop coping mechanisms that you utilize generally until you heal them. So if you act out in rage, that is exactly what you're going to do every single time you're in a situation. Maybe you've seen that growing up. Maybe someone in one of your parents was somebody who acted out of rage, and that is what you learned to cope with. If you learn to people please, that is a coping mechanism. Generally, you have a parent that's a people pleaser, and then a more dominant parent who dominated over the people pleaser, and you kind of learned to walk on eggshells with that parent that would, be like that and scream and yell. So you became then a people pleaser. If you utilize, shopping or any sort of things that are not beneficial for you. I'm not going to get into it because of this app. I'm not going to state, but you know what unhealthy coping mechanisms are. So what they're trying to say is your initial reaction to something is usually your past trying to impose itself on your present because it wants to be healed. So your triggers, everybody always asks, I see it all constantly, what is shadow work? Shadow work are your triggers. Anything that you are currently triggered by is something that you need to work on. Because a happy, healthy, healed individual is not going to be triggered by things. Jesus didn't go around and get upset and get, hostile with people because they mentioned something that irritated him, because he was happy, healthy, healed individual. He worked on his triggers. And just like you need to work on your triggers. And don't get overwhelmed with the situation. Maybe start with one trigger. And then the next time you're triggered, start with that trigger. And it will get easier and easier. And you'll find that your triggers are smaller and smaller and less, significant. So they're more easier to conquer. It's usually those first couple initial ones are going to be the hardest ones for you. So to move on, it states, know your sources of rejuvenation, the amount of solitude you need to feel fresh again, the activities that strengthen your creativity, and the people who light up your spirit. So when I first got a reading, I got a reading from Sylvia Brown's son, Chris Brown, who I adore. It's a very expensive reading, but it's well worth it. I was able to record it so I can listen to it, and I got it done a long time ago. But he told me one of the things here on earth is that I was a social worker and that I was a loner. And I didn't understand that because at the time I was very extroverted. But what he was trying to say, and he further explained it for me, is that certain people that are very empathic or highly sensitive, they need downtime to recoup. Now, it's different for every person, but maybe large crowds or huge social events overwhelm you. So maybe it's stepping away from the situation for a little bit or leaving and going home, whatever you're internally being guided to do to actually follow that internal guidance. A lot of people think they're extroverts and they're not really extroverts. They get very overwhelmed and exhausted in situations like that. So be aware of it and then live your life according to what is best for you. Because if you're not good for yourself, you're not good for anybody else. And they're just going to have to respect your boundaries. And if they don't, then you need to cut them out of your life, no matter who the person is. So finding activities that are going to help you to feel upbeat, Maybe you like to go walking. Maybe you're great with nature. Maybe you like going into your garden. Maybe you like volunteering at, you know, your school or churches, whatever the case may be that makes you feel refueled. So finding that, and really also people that really kind of make you feel whole and happy, and hanging out with them. So I hope this is helpful, and I love you all, and have a blessed day, and namaste.